checklist and join in. You can either follow either one of us, you can check off maybe the animals that you are able to ID regardless of whether we ask you to ID them or not. You can check off the ones that you see, so regardless of who IDs what, just check them off. So you can use it any which way you want to. If you want to do the trees as well, you're more than welcome. We're just sticking to the animals at this stage. The animals, birds, reptiles and amphibians. I think that is Elby actually. Left behind, the lowest ranking member of the Gowrie gang. And this is live, broadcasting live from Juma Game Reserve here in the Sabi Sands. Sometimes we do actually forget to throw that in, and I was actually writing a letter about it today, and it's still, it just amazes me how we're actually able to do this. And unfortunately sometimes the weather doesn't help us, and sometimes we do have issues, but unfortunately we are right in the middle of the African bush. Our nearest town, big town, is probably about an hour and a half's drive away, so it gives you an idea of how remote we actually are. Well, I say big town. The metropolis that is Hoodspruit and Acorn Hook. Fantastic, that's music to my ears. So I already have Chacma Baboon. The other rule of it is you have to give us the full name. And if I say it first, I can't check it off my list. It has to be ID'd by you guys. And if you do want to ID an animal, send it through to questions@juma.com. In the subject line, give us your name and what animal you think, or bird, or whatever it is I ask you to ID. And there they go. Now I did hear a bird that I've already checked off calling somewhere around by, I thought, Gowrie Dam. So if anybody has been watching the waterhole camera and has heard or seen the African fish eagle, please let me know. Maybe we should have a swing by the dam, see if it's there. But it did sound very close to me. Unless it was around Treehouse Dam, in which case that'd be awesome, because it may be looking and scouting for a new territory. Maybe it's a juvenile that's deciding to leave the parents. And of course we are still taking questions, so do send your questions through, questions@juma.com as well. And for those of you who would like to have a checklist and don't have one yet, checklistjuma@hotmail.co.za is the address you need to send an email to. checklistjuma@hotmail.co.za. If you'd like the booklet itself, then just let Eugene know that you want the booklet, and it's $5 to cover costs of sending it to wherever you are in the world. So just let him know. Otherwise, he'll just send you an electronic one. Okay, here we go.
Which one you want?
That one. I think the other one's going to be a little bit... Nope, got that one. Oh, I thought it was him flying off. But who got it? Who sent through? Ah, Catty. Well done, Catty. You did get it right. Chacma Baboon. Dry run. But I do already have it. But I do want you to ID this one.
hidden by branches just to make it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
Because it's an easy one.
Big identifying feature on this bird. Look at the tail. That's giving you quite a nice view of it there. Shame we can't see its eye. If you'd like to turn around for us and face the camera, I wouldn't say no.
I don't think there's anything in the rule book that says you can't use multiple examples of the same one to get an answer.
Ah, that's also true. The other one's also facing away. Actually, that's something else I wanted to ask. If they can't quite hear the bird call, can we whistle it?
No, because it's not the bird. Otherwise you could just drive around whistling bird calls.
Well, that's what I was thinking. But no, because you're also on board, so if you hear it. There we go, you can see the tail nicely there. So, questions@juma.com. This one you can ID. I'll let you know which ones to ID and which ones you don't need to ID. Binky, well done Binky, but first one back.
Wait, I want to get that one now that it's moved.
And King Alan Hewitt and Catty all came back with fork-tailed Drongo, so I can actually check that one off my list. These are actually one of my favourite birds. They have just got such a brilliant personality. They're so cheeky, and especially in the height of winter, they'll quite often follow at pretty close range actually. They'll follow the vehicle. If you're off-road, they're looking for insects, just like they do with elephants or giraffe or buffalo. They'll follow animals that move through the bush to wait for anything they disturb. And I was actually doing a walk once, and there was a fork-tailed Drongo who decided no, they're going to follow us into the bush while we were walking. And when I stopped and talked about something, I think I was talking about a tree, and I had an insect on my leg, and the Drongo had actually spotted it, and it was watching so carefully, and as soon as the insect just moved off my leg, it flew down and picked it up probably within a couple of centimetres of my leg. I thought, yeah, you're the bird for me. Bold, cheeky. Cool. So, fork-tailed Drongo. They do have a red eye. So, I don't know if there wasn't probably not even enough light to really see the eye. But that deep fork in the tail helps to identify it from the other bird you might confuse it with, which is the southern black flycatcher, which has got a square tail. And blank eye, the black eye also helps, plus the beak, a little bit more delicate than that of the Drongo.
What about the square-tailed Drongo?
We don't get the square-tailed Drongo here, do we?
No.
No, so I don't know the difference. I only know the difference between birds that we're likely to see. Okay, thanks Drongos! And a few people saying, oh, but we're not birders, and there's a lot of birds being focused on. The reason being, there are actually a lot more birds than there are mammals, so I'm trying to space out the mammals as well, so we don't run out of mammals too quickly. But it is going to be fun. As we're ticking off the common ones and trying to get not so common ones on the list, towards the end we're going to be searching for species, I think. Hi Laurie, good afternoon to you. Welcome on board. Where's Laurie from again? I always forget. I need to be reminded. Oh, I'm not sure which Laurie. It's nice to know which Laurie I'm speaking to. But okay. But welcome on board. I'm wanting to know about any birds that migrate. Do any birds migrate? And they do. We actually probably drop down to about half the species of birds during the winter time, but the migrants are on the way back. We've already had the European beater twice actually in the last few drives. Sitting for us, sitting pretty. What else have we seen back? Woodland kingfisher has not come back yet. We're waiting for the woodland kingfisher. Then that really is the start of summer. Cheeky.
On your head. Please.
You're going to dive into the pipe on the road. I want to play. Actually, my steering wheel's making that sound. Busy foraging. Following its nose, look.
Oh, you can smell something.
Yeah, I can definitely smell something. Could be an insect, could be a spider, could be a scorpion. Could be a lizard. Beautiful little creatures. These are little dwarf mongoose. And they're just so inquisitive. They're brilliant little animals. And if you get a colony that is used to people, like these lot are, by the looks of it, they're used to seeing vehicles along this stretch of road, then they don't tend to run away, they just carry on with what they're doing. That is a brilliant view of one. It's like, where did everybody go? Don't leave me. Speaking of European beaters, I'm actually hearing them overhead, but I think they're just a little bit too far for you guys.
Can you hear them?
Yeah. Somewhere above us.
Quite a big flock.
I think I'm... Oh, sorry, I didn't realise you had one. Sorry, guys. Thought you disappeared. I think I'm going to go up towards Gary Dam, come back down Vulture's Nest, hop across to maybe Twin Dams, Treehouse Dam, and then head up north again and kind of do a little bit of a zigzaggy type thing. A few people are also a bit concerned about the rhinos, and some people asking why we can't show rhinos on drive at the moment. And the reason being, we don't think people will be using the live cameras to pinpoint rhinos, but you never know. The technology is there. There could be a possibility. So the decision was made to not show rhinos on any of the waterhole cameras, especially the ones that are manned, have zoomies, so they can actually turn the camera away. Obviously with us, we see a rhino, we try not to show it. Now sometimes it's not possible not to see it, or sometimes you have to see it because you come around a corner. So it's not always foolproof. We never thought it would be, but it's just to try and reduce the risk. But as I say, there may be times where we see one, or you may catch something being said, we try and turn the radio down. If we know people are looking for them and we've seen them, then obviously we're going to try and let them know. But I can tell you this now, we've actually driven by quite a few over the last couple of weeks that we've been back, and you've not known about it. So there may be the odd slip up once or twice, but on the majority you don't even know about. Where's the bird? Where's the bird? Oh, there. No, I haven't got that one. I'm waiting to get that one. But I want that animal though. Easy one.
I'm going anywhere, the bird might.
Easy mammal.
But I can't see the bird, so...
No, the bird flew off.
No, it's not. It's there.
Where?
It's the water.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the one on the animal. Oh, I can't even see. Yeah, go for it. I thought you were talking about the bird that was sitting on his head.
No, that bird.
So yeah, as I say, we're trying our best not to show, but there is the occasion where it might just happen that you know about it. Ah, that bird. Oh no, I do have him. But if anybody hasn't had a chance to ID it, you can ID it. That's actually a very nice shot of it. And that actually shows why it's not the other one.
Oops.
No reptiles today. Actually, you know what? I want to see if a particular animal is out and about. Ooh!
That's that little boy from this morning.
That is the little boy. I would like to have him though. He's a nice little one for those who want to do the mammals. Where'd he go now?
Where'd he go now?
It's gone. Well, that bird was a water thickney. The spotted thickney has spots on it, hence the name spotted thickney.
There's that bird again.
Where did he go? Oh, there he is. Okay, so ID for the mammal. Seems as the other mammal's not playing with us. I don't have this one yet. So this will be ID number 2. I was just giving you time to ID the other bird, just in case you haven't ID'd it. Well, it's quite interesting. We were watching this little boy this morning, and he was acting very odd, and he was kind of looking at something, and the family went off one way and he went the other. I thought, what on earth is he doing? And we sat there for a little while just to see, you know, if we get an answer to the question, what was he doing? And eventually it suddenly dawned on me, you know, he's got to that age where he's old enough to leave the family. But he's kind of still sticking around with the females because that's what he's known. Shame. That's what he has known for the early years of his life. So it suddenly dawned on me, maybe he's seeing a bull. And just after I said that, we saw the bull. Because they do go and almost train to be a male, if you can call it that. Or learn how to be a male, maybe start sparring a little bit for when they do become mature, usually around 6 or 7 years of age. They'll start to hold their own territory. They're quite old really for an antelope. So I don't know, this little one's probably about 4 or 5, so he's still a little bit young, but say old enough to start breaking away and maybe forming a small bachelor group.
Hmm?
You can hear it.
It's on the dead tree. What? Bird?
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed it.
The oxpecker keeps trying to fly onto, I'll give the game away, onto the hippo. But the hippo keeps sinking and you can just about see the nostril in the water. You can just about see it. And the oxpecker is dying to get on that hippo, and the hippo's not playing. He's literally just got the... Ooh! Why are they just flying in?
What?
Oh, I missed them.
What you got?
Aha! Just in the tree opposite us. There's a whole flock of them that just flew in. You see the dead tree
Yeah.
just across the way there, and they're all sitting up in the top. I don't know if we're going to be a little bit too far away to really see them. I think we might be. Oh no, it's not. It wasn't that one. And then next one over, I think.
Oh, next one over.
There. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I tried to get them the other day. Don't know if I got them.
I just want to check that I've got the right.
Did anybody ID them when I tried to get them?
I'm going to try and see if we can get a little bit closer, because I think we are just a little bit too far away. They might fly off. Don't go! Oh, that was just very rude. How rude.
Yeah, I followed them in flight, but from a distance.
Ah! Sarah! Thanks, Sarah, with Waterbuck. I can tick Waterbuck off. That is the antelope who came down to drink. Beautiful little boy. So, a little bit of a tough ID, maybe if there's anyone that did happen to see, but I think it might have just been a little bit too far. They're shy, they're very shy, so I have to keep looking. On your dig cock, otherwise known as a water thick knee. That is correct. I was going to go the other way, wasn't I? Oh well. Good afternoon, all stations. Mobile, I've just been around Gary Dam, Lutu so far. I was hoping lightning would strike twice, but maybe not. So I am actually going to turn around. No, actually no, let's go up and we'll come down Gary Cut Line. Gary Cut Line down towards Greenhouse Dam. Oh. Can you see those two little birds sitting in the tree?
Yeah, I see about 100 trees.
This, just past the green tree, in the dead tree just behind, sort of quite low down.
Those two sitting together.
Yeah, that just looks very cute. Below that, bit more. There. Oh, they're hidden. Oh, that's a shame. There. Trying to get warm from each other. Look at that.
So we're in a forest and Tara says they're behind that tree.
Yeah.
It's like, see that green leaf over there?
We all do it
I
though.
wonder.
We all do it. Two little emerald spotted doves. They probably are a pair. Unfortunately,
Love
can't
is dreaming
see
together.
exactly. Love is doing everything together.
True. Everything?
I don't know. And actually, I think RC said he heard these calling the other day, and they do sound very similar to the Birchall's cuckoo, the rainbird. They do sound very similar. They tend to go on a little bit longer, and they tend not to descend when they're calling. Because the Birchall's cuckoo, I'm sorry for my impression, but this is as good as it gets. So it goes whoop, 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 whoop. Whereas these guys don't go down like that. Okay, let's leave the two lovebirds. They just look very cute. To mention it to Nick. Welcome back, everybody. Sorry, there was a tree that's I actually forgot to mention that needs to be removed from the road. And we have to drop the aerial, and because we have to drop the aerial, you lose picture. And for some reason, it doesn't come back again until we switch off the camera and switch it back on again. Odd. Very odd. Actually, Karula was... I keep thinking she was by Tambourta Dam. It was up by the signs, wasn't it, that she went over?
Yeah.
Hi, dear. It is a water thickney that was by the water's edge. I do already have that ticked off, dear, but just in case anybody wanted to have a try. Also known as the water dickhop. So it's number 298 in the little book on the checklist. 298. Yeah, it definitely doesn't help it not being alphabetical. Ooh, nice. It's just displaying then. So shouting with its wings opening and closing. You lost your family, little one. Okay, if you want to give this one a go. See if we can give this one an ID. We haven't done this one yet. Check the orange eye. And look at the markings down the breast. Don't fly. Oh. Can you still see it from there? Ah, cool. Unusually quiet. So you might actually have to ID it by looks alone. You don't always get a chance to see this one. This one usually flies off. You usually hear it and don't see it. So it'll be interesting to see who comes back with what. I think he was feeling a bit intimidated. We were all watching it. I really didn't think this one through. I shouldn't have taken him Vubu Road, but never mind. We'll do something different. So I want to go up to where the signs were just to see if Ruler has come back over. Sorry, Roy. Asking about the bird that was in the tree. I wanted to go for the flock instead. That was actually a pigeon. I think it looked quite big on screen. Well, it looked like a pigeon to me. Was it a pigeon?
Which one?
The one that you were on before... Yeah, before the flock.
That was with dove.
Oh yeah, dove. Dove rather than pigeon. Pigeons are supposed to be bigger than doves, but I think they've changed the names to most of them are to the dove now. Excuse me. Possibly an African mourning dove, or that was quite a big dove, or a red-eyed dove. I actually didn't see it closely, but I think it was probably one of those rather than the smaller laughing dove or Cape turtle dove. But it looked quite big actually. But it wasn't a raptor. Sometimes the way they actually sit, and I've mistaken doves on a couple of occasions for raptors because of the way they sit. Okay, lady, please come out to play. Nice to see you today. I spotted a rock. A rock that looks like a leopard tortoise.
That rock.
Yeah, that rock there. How's that? Not as good as Seb's pangolin though. That was classic. Cloud's looking very ominous. Yes. Ooh, this sounds good. This sounds possible. Wow, I'm impressed, guys. Raisa and RC came back with Watled Starling. Thank you so much. I'm amazed you got it. I am amazed you got it. So let me just show you. So there was what I could see, there was one male mixed in with a few females. But it was this yellow on the back of the head, which was really the big giveaway. So there you go, Watled Starling. And the black with the white.
That one, they all know that one, the American.
Yes, I know this one as well, the European or common starling, from when I lived in the UK. I used to get huge flocks of them, and it was quite fascinating to watch them make these huge flocks and start flying together, and it really was. There we go, while we're at it, there's the yellow-billed oxpecker. You can see how much yellow is on the beak there, and this is the one that we get most often, the red-billed. Actually, I need to mark that one off. I'll do that just now. I think we had... Did I do another one? Yes, I did do another one. It's one more bird ID and I'll tick it off with that one. I think. Or maybe I'm lying. Come out, wherever you are. Shame it doesn't work. This is actually perfect weather for cats to move around, to go hunting. It's not too hot. The wind's blowing a little bit, so it'll actually mask their movements, any sound they do make in the bush. The animals won't be too bothered because the wind isn't that strong, so they won't be completely on edge. Oh, that's it, yes. Yes, that is the other bird. Goldfish memory this afternoon. Not for the dove, no. I ID'd that one. But well done. Who got that one actually? Who did get that one? Yeah, the emerald spotted. Who got that one without the spots? Joe! Well done, Joe. I'm impressed with the emerald spotted dove. Getting it without seeing the spots. Very impressed. Quite a dainty little dove.
So they were left just in there.
Gonna say. Okay, so it's a question. The two sitting side by side, yeah. Oh wow. Sure, Jojo, putting me on the spot there. Lots of numbers as well this afternoon. Welcome on board. This is where Karula went in. Just checking to see if there's any tracks of her coming back over. But I think they might, from there, they might make their way to Sydney's dam and then come back. If they're going to come back today, they might do. Let's have a wander down towards Sydney's dam. That is the closest water source from here, but I don't know that side. Could be one just here. Let's have a wander down. I know I'm completely going off of what I was saying before. But never mind. We'll do this and then head down south. So Jojo, wanting to know, how many chicks do they have? Are they lifelong partners? And when do the chicks fledge? Chick-wise, I actually haven't got my other book. The photographic guide does actually tell you how many eggs they lay. I would say, I'd guess, probably no more than a batch of, I don't know, 3 eggs would be laid and maybe 1 or 2 survive. But maybe someone can check that one for us. Oh, can I have that bird sitting on the end of the stick amongst all the greenery? I haven't got you yet. Nice of you to turn around though. Oh, and there's the tail. There we go. You can just turn around for us again, little one. This is probably one of the most striking birds in the African bush. Yes, I'm talking about you. Look at that beautiful colour underneath the beak. And hopefully it's going to come back. Yep, there we go. Just caught something. But as far as doves mating, it usually is mating for life. Pairing for life. So I wouldn't have thought the emerald spotted dove would be any different. But fledglings, sure, that's really got me. I'd probably say a couple of months for them to fledge. I think they're pretty rapid growing. But again, maybe someone can just check that for us. It's something I've never even thought to look up. So thanks for that one, Jojo. See if we can get some answers for you. Okay. It's always a beautiful bird to watch. I saw them eating a scorpion the other day. I think last year it was you that saw one eating a chameleon, hey?
Just the head.
Yeah, a chameleon head.
Must have been roadkill or something, and it was trying to swallow the head, but it was big.
See, that's something we haven't seen back yet, the European rollers.
November.
Mid-November.
One of my most vivid memories as a kid was one of my youngest memories was a lilac-breast roller eating a solitude.
Sure.
Huge solitude in the road.
Sure.
Ruben.
I'm hoping, did we get some answers already for that bird, Seb?
Oh,
I know, I've just suddenly realised we're there chatting about it.
yeah, I'll shut up. For the rest of the drive, I'll shut up.
No, that brightly coloured bird. The brightly coloured bird, the one that we just had. We had it for quite a while, so that's why I thought we must have answers already. We're busy chatting away. No? Really? No. Oh.
Well, you mentioned European rollers.
I know, that's why.
Before I said that.
Oh, you do have. Oh, no, you... Oh. Maybe there's a delay in the emails.
Give us to anyway.
Yeah, I think there'll be a delay because that one's very easy to see. Okay, so who got the Aramark babblers, which was the bird earlier? No, delay in the emails, not a stream. Excuse me. Okay, Karula. Ooh. Okay. How are we doing with picture? Sometimes we do lose picture here. Cool. So well done to Sarah. Sarah got the arrow-marked babbler. Are we able to get the noisy little bird?
The what?
The noisy little bird who's just up ahead.
Haven't you got it yet?
No, I haven't got that one. I changed my mind.
That one.
Yes, that one.
Why are there humans walking there?
Where? Where are you
Coming
seeing?
down this road. from the
Oh,
back.
sure. And you can see the long legs of the little bird that we're looking at. I nearly said it then. It actually allows it to run around after its prey, and using its small beak it can start probing into the ground, a bit like we saw the storks doing. Storks, the woolly neck storks, got slightly longer beaks so they can dig a little bit further into the ground. But especially after the rain it's going to be nice and soft. There's going to be grubs underneath there that are waiting for favourable temperatures and conditions to maybe emerge from the soil. Might be able to... There you go. There you go. There you go, just demonstrating how easy it is for it to run. Very noisy bird. Hopefully you heard it as we drove up. And if it does have a nest, then if I got out to walk over there and it has a nest, it's going to be highly protective over it, and it may even, if I get close enough, it may even start flying at me and pecking me. Because these types of birds are very protective. Them just showing the top of the head very nicely. Now, I was wanting just to spend a little bit of time here by the dam just to see if there's any movement, but unfortunately it doesn't look like there's any cats around here. So we're going to continue on, and we will head down south, I think. Swing by the dams down there. Didn't see any tracks of anybody either crossing the road, so maybe there's still some meat left on possibly the kill that she took the cubs to. Someone behind us. How close are they? Get by there.
And that drain surgeon.
Maybe try Aubrey's Road. Go down Aubrey's Road. I didn't actually say the name. Alan! Thanks, Alan. Coming back with large roller for our bird. Aubrey's Road is possibly a good choice, possibly. Are you looking better? Okay, cool. Can't accept that one. No ways. No ways. No, I'm not even going to tell him. It's in Juma Game Reserve. Turns out, where was it? The first Impala baby was seen on the 24th of October. Where? Malalani Camp. Where's Malalani Camp?
different habitat, different climate.
Yeah, exactly.
First one we get on camera. That's out of our broadcast range.
That's definitely out of our broadcast range. That's from Tom in Scotland. Tom, whose side are you on? Come on. I'm British. I'm half Scottish. Oh, sorry. So yeah, so technically I didn't actually say lilac-breasted roller, I actually said European, but maybe I shouldn't have. I was flying very close to the wind there. I shouldn't have actually said what it was. But there's nothing in the rule book to say you can't do that. I actually did it by accident. But I'm sure you guys got it from the long tail and the lilac underneath the chin. Ooh. So I was oohing at a butterfly and I was hoping it was going to stop and it didn't. I think that was a nacrea, wasn't it? Did you see it?
Pardon?
Did you see? I think it was a nacrea that flew over the road.
No, I didn't see it. We didn't even see any butterflies. It was the butterfly census.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Butterfly census
1 to
before
2
the
eggs.
butterflies
Uh-huh. For 17 days. 15 to 17 days before leaving. Wow. Okay, I was a bit out with the whole fledgling thing. So, emerald spotted dove lays 1 to 2 eggs. And the fledgling, the female usually sits on the eggs for about 15, 17 days, and then the chick actually fledges 15 to 17 days. That is quick, my word. That is very quick. And who was that information from, Seb? Oh, Jojo. Thanks, Jojo, looking up your own answer. But thanks for coming back to us about that one, Jojo. Appreciate it. Sure. And probably one of the reasons is because of the way doves and pigeons feed their young. Same with the parrots, actually. Could have a lot to do with it. In that, in their esophagus, in their throat, they actually produce what's called pigeon's milk. And highly nutritious, full of protein, and they feed that to the chicks. So they're not really, I mean, obviously they'll need to eat for themselves, but at least the chick doesn't have to rely on the parents going to find food for it. It produces it. I say the parrots do that as well. This special diet of pigeon's milk. And that probably has a lot to do with it. But I really didn't think it was going to be that quick. It's what, like half a month? Just over 2 weeks. Sure. Very well, how are you doing? What did you have down by Central Road? Okay, copy, thank you. Just did Buffelshook cut line, there's not really anything along there at the moment, so I'm going to head down towards Treehouse Dam. Sorry, what were you trying to find from this morning? Okay, copy. Whereabouts did you have them? Okay, copy. Was that Karula's daughter? Okay, copy, thanks. Yeah, I'll be heading over towards Cheetah Cut Line a little bit later on. Oh, yes, I did. Down open area, they went east towards Ingaskaya. She didn't hear too well on the radio this morning, but from what I could put together, and Graham's just confirmed it now, that Saseka and her little male cub were seen torchwood, and apparently she's kind of hovering fairly close to the boundary with Cheetah Cut Line, so Graham's that side going to try and see if we can do some relocating, see if she comes across this way. That'll be very nice. I've never seen Saseka. She is Karula's daughter from her first litter. Karula is a grandmother now. She has one cub, little male cub, who's roughly about the same age as Karula's two little ones. The father being Mvula to that little boy. Or Mvula is the father to that little boy, that makes more sense. Saseka herself is probably coming up for about 5 years now, 5 years old. She's close to it, or will be. Let's take this road down towards Treehouse Dam. Take a zebra question. Why not? Let's see if we can actually find some zebra to show you. From who? Kevin. Welcome on board, Kevin. Wanting to know, why do zebras look so fat? They always look pregnant. And the reason for that, Kevin, is a lot to do with the digestive system. It's quite a poor digestive system. So, you know, cows and sheep and antelope and deer, they all have a 4-chambered stomach. And that's very effective for getting nutrients out. And they don't really need the cecum to do too much of the digestion of the cellulose and the other nutrients within the plant that they eat. But the zebra, the rhino, the elephant all rely on the cecum, which is basically the equivalent of our appendix. Lies in between the large and small intestine. And there's the whole digestive system's different to that of the 4-chambered stomach digestive system. And the bacteria will also be different, and it's the byproduct of this process of breaking down the cellulose and the nutrients, and there's a huge buildup of gas. And if a zebra gets spooked, you hear this gas coming out a lot. That's why they always give off wind when they run. But that's also why rhinos also look quite fat. Elephants also may look a little bit bloated, but the zebra, you can see it quite distinctively. Same with the horses as well. You'll notice horses also do look a little bit rounded, although not as much as a zebra. But it is to do with the digestive system. Now you might ask yourself, why on earth would an animal have such a poor digestive system? Because if the antelope have got it down to a T where they don't waste too much in the way of water and they don't waste too much in the way of nutrients, why don't they all have that? And the reason being, the antelope needs very good high quality food, but they don't need as much of it. So as long as they can find high quality food, they're sorted. Whereas the animals like the rhino and the zebra, they can actually eat fairly poor quality food, like not so much nutrients in that food, but because of the way they digest it, they can get the nutrients out of that. And they do need to eat a lot of it though. But because if you think about what's in the bush, you're going to have quite a lot of probably poor quality food and maybe less high quality food. So it's their role in life, it's their niche. Nobody else or very few animals may eat what they eat. So it reduces the competition between each of the animals. Speaking of the devil, there we go. I thought we'd find some down here. Oh, I thought I missed it. Quick, someone send a leopard question. See if it works. Do we have names for that last bird that we were IDing? Yep. Joanne. Thanks, Joanne. Joanne from Arizona. Good to have you on board this afternoon. Joanne getting the ID for the crowned plover, otherwise known as a crowned lapwing. Thanks, Joanne. I can tick that one off as well. And RC actually wanting to find out where the crowned lapwings were. Usually the ones that we look at are on Impala Plains. That's the one with the 2 chicks. The one we were just watching now is up by Sydney's Dam, which is just off of the map. It's actually off of our traversing area, but it's the northwestern side of Buffalo's Hook cut line. So if you find where Sandy Patch Road meets Buffalo's Hook cut line, and just on the opposite side of that junction, on the northern side, that's where the crown plover was. But showing the crown quite nicely, that black and white crown, very distinctive. So we have a little family of zebra. Type of plain zebra, common zebra, or Burchells. Very unusual to find one by itself. If you find one, it might be a little male that's been chased away from his herd, or they may have split up or been split up by a predator, because usually this particular type of zebra lives in a family group. So you may have maybe a stallion with a female, could have a stallion with 5 females. but it's not usually more than 6. Unless something drastic happens, they'll usually stay as a family for the rest of their lives, or at least until another male might take over if the stallion gets too old. It may be taken over by a younger stallion. But actually, not looking too bloated, that one, but the one on the right is. The one's looking quite bloated. I don't know if we're going to be able to see that one through the trees. But I think, add to that, I think she possibly is a little bit pregnant as well. So they are getting bothered by flies this afternoon. Still thought in some areas they don't get bothered by certain species of fly because of the stripes. Apparently the stripes are supposed to confuse some species of fly. It doesn't seem to work down here. I don't think we have the right species of fly for that. I think in particular the tsetse fly could be one of them. Now if you look at what the zebra's eating there, eating quite high up on the grass, and quite often you'll find wildebeest with them, and it's possible the zebra actually make way or make it easier for the wildebeest to actually get to the parts of grass that the wildebeest will eat, and they'll generally eat closer to the root or closer to the ground where more nutrients are going to be held in the plant. And this is what I was saying a bit earlier about the difference in the amount of nutrients that they take in and the difference in food. And they may also eat slightly different species as well. So it could be that they actually take those species out and allow the wildebeest to get to the other species below it, or that may be clustered or hidden by those other species of grass that need to be eaten by the zebra before they can get to them. And for that reason you may find wildebeest together with zebra, as well as for the protection aspect of that as well. It's thought zebras have excellent eyesight, and it's also thought they can see in partial colour. Possibly green or yellow. Hi Rose! The bird on the ground was... oh sorry, Roy. The bird on the ground, in case you missed it, was the crowned lapwing, or crowned plover. That was the one on the ground that was by the dam, Sydney's dam. Crowned lapwing. Okay. Very peaceful watching the zebra. Ginny! Is that Ginny? Sorry, mister. You can actually see quite the large chest. But he's actually a little bit smaller than the female, and this is what I was saying the other day. I mean, males are supposed to be bigger than females, but it's not always the case. And actually, I've seen more males that are smaller than the mares. Certainly that area in between his front legs is quite defined. Probably from the fighting that he'll have to do to retain his females. Although it's thought that this particular species isn't a species that will fight too often, and even if a young male takes over, it can be quite docile, in that he may just follow the herd at a distance and then get a little bit closer and a little bit closer, and then, let's say, maybe put pressure on the older stallion. And sometimes it may be that they sort of know that they are a little bit too old to really stand up for themselves. And it's quite a calm affair, that you may get others where the takeover is quite involved. There we go, got another mare coming up the road. What's wrong, lady? We're in your way. It doesn't look too impressed. Ginny saying everyone knows the zebras look fat because they have stripes on the body, and that makes you look fat. I'll have to keep that one in mind. Actually, it depends on which way the stripes go, isn't it? I think, is it horizontal stripes? Oh no, it's another male. I think vertical stripes are supposed to make you look larger than what you are, and horizontal smaller or something. See, even he's not that big, and the chest isn't that as defined as the one before.
Back to the boy.
Yeah, unless he's his son and he hasn't left home yet. He looks a little bit big. As I say, he might just be tolerating him. And they can be quite sociable. You can get family groups actually meeting each other. I remember watching once 2 family groups coming up and meeting, and it was actually the stallions that went up to meet each other first. So they're quite sociable. Okay.
You're gonna make your way there? Yeah, you got now. I just got that in there quickly, and then I'll go charter those in there.
Let's see what's happening down at the dam, see if we can find ourselves an elephant or something. Be nice to see. I haven't seen an elephant for a few days since actually my last drive. I haven't seen one. Oh no, we had one with Seb. We had an elephant bull. I tell a lie. They were probably dust bathing just there. Oh, okay, cool. Let's see if it works. Got a few leopard questions. Standing by. I'm just on my way down there. I haven't been there yet. I'll let you know if I do see anything. I was listening to two radios at once there. I'm hoping I've got most of your question there, Tom. But you're talking about the family tree, and I was talking about the family tree, but you want to know, is the population large enough to stop inbreeding? And the population is pretty large. And that's one of the reasons why the males will tend to disperse in leopards, because the females may stay fairly close to their natal area if there's a territory that's open, or they can find their way into a territory, push the other holder out. But there is a high density of leopards in the Sabi Sands, and they reckon that on average the territory held by a female is probably about 2,000 hectares. What we've seen of Karula, it could be, for her, it could be slightly smaller, the territory that she actually defends, but her home range might be a little bit larger. So she sneaks over into other leopard territories, and that's where it does get a little bit hazy, because they seem to tolerate to a certain degree. Ooh, we have some activity here. And there's Teddy! Actually, I'm going to just park here, because I think where they are, we're not going to see them too well from the other side of the road. I see Teddy. Teddy with Mum. It was actually Mum that was sleeping this morning. And 3 of the cubs there. I was all 4 there. Come on, Teddy. Come and say hello. Oh, there's the other one. Okay, let's go down and see them then, see them moving. See if Teddy will come up to say hello. If there's anybody on board that thinks that hyenas are ugly and they're stupid and they're smelly scavengers and, you know, just basically the drag of life, it's not true. They have huge personalities, and certainly I think everybody's taken the littlest one, Teddy, to heart. He looked like a teddy bear when he was first seen. But they do have a fantastic personality, and look at these cubs. How can you not fall in love with these cubs? Hello, little one. The smelly part, possibly.
Yeah, located on 2 dagger buoys on Yala North.
Ah, he's got them.
But that's probably about 50 meters away from the junction of Central.
Actually, I don't think I've said the name. Maybe you guys can ID this one. But I haven't said the name. I wasn't listening to myself. But if you do ID it, you have to give the full name. I was sat here the other night, and there was some elephant dung in the road, and it was one of these cubs. Oh, what have you got? Bit of Impala horn. But they were getting freaked out because there was some elephant dung, and one daren't go up. He daren't go up and have a look at it, and then it got quite brave when its sibling joined it, and they both went up and started sniffing it. But it was very funny to watch. Sorry, what's the question from Roy? Interesting question there, Roy. What does a baby leopard look like when it's first born? Hello, little one. Sniffers. I bet they're loving this weather. It's not too hot for them. To be honest, Roy, I've never seen a baby leopard. I would imagine that they are already coloured. They already have fur. not born naked as far as I know. But the eyes will probably be closed for a couple of days, and then when they do open, they've got these piercing blue eyes that I have seen. Well, I've seen in pictures. And they'll have these piercing blue eyes for probably about 10 days, 2 weeks, and then they do start to become pale with age. So nice and sheltered. But unlike the leopard, these guys, when they're first born, they dark all over, and they do start to molt the fur. I think someone was actually asking the other day how do they change colour, and it is through molting, as I did suggest. So their fur does change colour. You can see Teddy started getting a few markings through already. Which puts it probably about 3 or 4 months old now. Probably on the 4-month-old mark. You're going to come and say hello now? I'll just bring the little one with. He's looking for you, Sebastian. You're getting very brave. Hi Jojo, just asking about Saseka, Karula's daughter that I was talking about just a bit earlier. How many cubs has she reared to adulthood, and is she a grandmother yet? And this is her first cub, Jojo. She had 2, and she actually started late. She was 4 when she first fell pregnant. Karula being about 2.5 when she first fell pregnant, so quite a late starter for her daughter. But it can be anywhere between 2 and maybe 4 or 5 years before they have the first young. So she's not a grandmother yet. I say her little boy is roughly around a year old. What are you doing, Teddy? See, look, the older one's gone. So he's losing. I thought he was actually going to go straight back to the den, losing the confidence. Moment. Oh. They do have a very inquisitive mind, inquisitive nature, and it's a good thing for them to learn what the vehicle's about, and the good thing for them to learn that the vehicle's not going to hurt them, and they actually get it out their system. You know, they realise quite soon that, you know, there's no food here, there's no reason for them to come and attack people or anything like that, and as I say, they lose that interest. So it's just a young curiosity. So then, as they get older, if they see a vehicle, they're not going to run away from it. This is part of their life. This is something that happens, and sometimes they see it, sometimes they don't. And that's how we've been able to really observe what's going on with animals, because of this understanding about the vehicle, the habituation to the vehicle. So they just carry on as normal. stations and BC Kaya is nice and active. All Mampimpans and adult out. Tell you something though, this little one is so busy. I don't think you ever see it stop.
What?
This little one, never see it stop.
I don't know, drink. So I was having a look at my photos, and the reason why I thought you knew that floppy ear was suckling the oldest two was because I saw them in my Land Rover, so I must have been on my own several weeks ago. I thought we had it on this camera, but it was on my camera.
No, I've lost you.
Never mind.
So you had pictures of her suckling the older ones? You did? Okay, so maybe the way it looked, maybe she was still suckling the older ones here, but they just looked smaller.
But they what?
Maybe the older ones looked smaller. When I was... because she looked like she was suckling the two smaller ones out the four. But I was always convinced at that side, at Philemon's Dip, Philemon's Cut Line, at that den, I was always convinced Floppy Ear was suckling the two eldest. Then again, there isn't too much of a size difference between the four. You're getting very brave now. It's like, okay, I'll come and join in as well. Magic. Absolute magic. Look at that face. How can you not like that face? Oh, we have the whole gang here now. You can still see there's still a hesitance about it. They're still not sure, and that's still good as well. You know, they're still not willing to go that extra step. And that's what keeps that respect. You know, you don't want, obviously, when they get to adulthood to think that they can come up to vehicles and jump into vehicles. That's definitely not what you want. And if they were to, you know, put their face next to my leg or sniff, or, you know, just something that would cross that barrier, then that's when we need to dissuade them. Either just move your foot and they still get that fright, or, you know, make a sound or jingle the keys, something that will dissuade them for them to still think, ooh, you know, I don't want to go beyond that boundary. But certainly when they're like this and just as inquisitive as they are, it really is quite incredible. And the fact that they trust us enough to come and see what's happening. Now look at Teddy. Always looking for trouble, this one. Always looking for trouble. So do we have any answers for our ID? Oh. Yep, that sounds good to me. MJ, thanks MJ, coming back with spotted hyena. Fantastic. There is a chance sometimes to see a brown hyena. Ooh, what did you guys hear? See, that looks straight up, and we're going straight back to the den. And this is why hyenas use a den site, because it is safety for the youngsters, and they know instinctively any sign of danger. Straight back to the hole. But there is a chance to see a brown hyena here. There has been one seen once, a couple of years ago now I think, with Peter. Long brown fur. You're more likely to see them by themselves or maybe in a pair.
I think a teddy playing crying wolf.
I think it is, eh? Because the others are going, what? What's wrong? What's wrong? Teddy winding everybody up. But considering how small Teddy is, it really goes looking for trouble, hey? Unfortunately, we don't have the striped hyena here. I'd love to see a striped hyena. They are beautiful. Silver on the bodies, silver white and black stripes. They really are a stunning looking animal. As I say, sadly, we don't get them here. Further up north in Africa you do. Okay, we've got a couple of hyena questions before we go. Oh, okay.
Somebody bumped their head.
Yeah, I think someone did bump the head. Was that Penny from Ontario? Henny! Henny! Welcome on board, Henny. New name for me. Welcome on board from Ontario in Canada. Been taught how to say that one properly. wanting to know why is there so many dead trees around Juma Game Reserve. Most of them are starting to green up, but there's still some that do look a bit dead. They late bloomers, they will get their leaves eventually after a little bit more rain has fallen. There are a number of leadwoods that have died, and they're the old, very old, bedraggled looking ones. And leadwoods can live maybe 1,000 years sometimes, and they can stand for a further 1,000 years. So they're a very long-lived tree and very long to actually deteriorate as well. The wood is just so hard. So there's a few trees that probably look, or probably are the leadwoods, these old leadwoods. But a lot of them, as I say, they're just coming out of winter, we're going into spring, and the trees are just getting their leaves back. A lot of the trees that haven't lost their leaves over the winter are starting to really green up and come through quite lush. Let's say that you are starting to see a few with new leaves. Give them another week or so and it'll be even greener than what it is now. Okay, well I think it's probably a good time to...
What are you doing under there?
Teddy's just gone underneath the vehicle and popped out the other side. No, I'm not Sebastian. Yes, I have. No doubt little Teddy will move as soon as the vehicle starts up. Okay, there's everybody. Oh, there he is. Well, he or she, I'm not sure. Very difficult to tell the sexes of hyenas apart. There we go. You really are just winding everybody up there. I want to play. What's on his back though? Is it a mark? Or has someone been playing very rough? Doesn't like the fact everyone's just sitting down. I think someone might have just pulled a bit of hair from it or something.
He's bored still.
Yeah, it is, eh? It's like, come on, play with me. Eyeballing it. See, I think these two that we're looking at now are the older two. The other two are the younger two. They're still a little bit more fluffier than these two. Hi Laurie! Also in Canada, wanting to know would the hyena attack a human if you were walking. If it's a single hyena, under normal circumstances, probably not. Hyenas are very inquisitive, as I said before, very curious, but they're not stupid. If they outnumbered, they won't risk their necks. They won't risk being injured. Although Teddy, on the other hand, might be the exception to the rule. I'm saying, looking for trouble. He's going to come a cropper if he's not careful. But as I say, under normal circumstances, the hyena's more likely to run away from a human. But if you get a number of hyenas out walking and you say you turned around and started running, it is possible, if they're hungry enough, they might run you down. But if you stand your ground and face them, they're not as likely to actually try anything. And that's why the golden rule in the bush is do not run, otherwise you become food. Running initiates that response for an animal to chase. That's why, especially with predators, whatever you do, don't run. We've had, on occasion we'll have a function out in the bush, and sometimes you may get a hyena visiting and seeing what you're about. And I remember one night we were standing there on the junction talking to another guide, and we heard some footsteps, so we switched on the light, and a hyena just walked past us, probably a good 20, 25, 30 metres. I mean, it was quite a distance. So the hyena walked past us, didn't even bother looking at us, was carrying on its business. Walked past us, and then next thing we know, it turns around and walks back again. And as we're watching it, it stops and looks. And we look across to where the hyena actually stopped to look, and there, sitting in the drainage line, well, actually no, it was on the road, but it was just in the dip in the road, was a leopard, sitting down, lying down flat, watching us, watching the hyena. As soon as he realised he'd been seen, he was off like a bolt. Teddy, what are you doing? No one's taking the bait, Teddy.
Close it.
Okay, let's leave them to it. Hi, Saja. How large is a hyena herd? The hyenas are usually known as clans, hyena family, and the spotted hyena can live anything up to sometimes 50 in a clan. Just depends on the area and how much game there is, or how much food is available. Calm down. Yeah. So you must still have those really sharp baby teeth. Hi Fabienne, good to hear from you. I hope you got back safe and sound. I'm sure it'll be the same Fabienne who was with us last week on Drive. Wanting to know, if a mother dies, will the other mothers look after the young? Probably not. They're not known to feed each other's cubs. They'll live together, but they're not known to feed each other's cubs. If they get to the stage that these other four are at, Teddy is probably around 4 months old. The other four that are sleeping are probably around the 7-8 month old mark now.
Trying to sleep.
Oh, shame. Thing is, I think if they ignore it, it's going to go away. Well, that's what I've thought, but maybe not with Teddy. As I say, if they get to about 7 or 8, then they usually, depending on the size that they are at that stage, they usually start to follow adults on foraging excursions, and then they might have a chance of surviving. But certainly up until that stage, they usually do rely on the mother. I think Mum's just enjoying the peace. Oh, sure, definitely full of character, this one. Hi, Ed. And good afternoon to you. When will Teddy's colour change? I'd say maybe give it another month, maybe a month and a half, and it'll be pretty much the same as the other 4 that you see now. So it's usually around 3.5, 4 months that they start to change the colour. And every time we've come back, I mean, now I'm actually seeing the spots all over the body, whereas a few days ago we were just seeing them down the neck. You're actually eating your own foot now. Hi, Leanne. Leanne from Florida. Wanting to know if Teddy is a boy or a girl, and what age will we know. It's very difficult to know exactly who's a male and who's female. Reason being that females actually have their reproductive organs looking very similar to that of males, and unless you see them with cubs of their own, you can't really say for 100% sure if it's a male or female. I mean, there's theories on how you can tell the differences, but even experts have got it wrong.
Way too much energy.
Yeah, this one definitely has way too much. Almost like it's looking over at the female going, Mrs. H, please control your kid. Hi, Karen, in Arizona again. I'm going back to Arizona. Wanting to know what predators would hyenas be scared of, especially the cubs. At this age they are vulnerable to any number of predators, and as I say, that's why they'll bolt for the hole. Lions, leopards, even members of different clans. If there's any hyenas that come through from a different clan, they could also be a potential threat. Snakes, when they're a little bit smaller, if they're outside, maybe eagles. And when they're very small, you know, even smaller predators like jackal, if they caught outside a hole, you could find that they will kill them as well.
Trying to palm Teddy off onto the older sibling.
Yeah. It's like, here, you have it. Quick, escape. Nicely done. Genius. And yet they're still playing relatively nicely with him. You know, they're not being overly vicious with it. If they're not careful, they're going to start ganging up on it again. I think it's going for the equivalent of terrible twos. I wonder if there's a smell that is rolling in.
Well, the other one just regurgitated something.
Oh, did it? Oh, okay. Oh, so they want to... Yeah, as I said about the smelly part, yeah, they do smell a little bit.
Teddy wants to ride in it, and so does the other one.
It's going to run straight into the three that are trying to settle down now again. Hi Bash, long time no here. Hope you're well, Bash, from Vancouver. I'm wanting to know, do the animals see us as the vehicle or do they see us individually? You've seen leopard and lion make eye contact, and it's very true. I mean, they have excellent eyesight. There's no reason why they wouldn't see individual people. When people talk about lion and leopard, especially seeing people as part of the vehicle, it's more the outline, and they get used to the way people and the vehicles look. And the reason why you get told don't stand up is because you actually break that outline that they're used to. And that is more likely to make them run away or to react sometimes of seeing lions actually charging the vehicle, because you've basically put yourself out there, you've put yourself out of the herd almost. You know, you've singled yourself out, which is something that, you know, you don't really want to be doing with a predator. But certainly they do see individual people. I mean, how can they not? They have eyesight 6 times better than our own. Hyenas, I'm not sure, but they definitely do have very good eyesight. I mean, they look at us, they're eyeing us up. And I'm sure our unique smell is also going to distinguish us for them. Yes, I'm talking about you. Where's Teddy? Is Teddy under here? What do you do with him? Do you palm it off on us now? And make no mistake, this is definitely a wild animal. If I was to put my hand out, chances are this little cub would run away, but you know, there's nothing to say that it wouldn't actually try and bite me. But there's that trust there, that trust that, you know, it's not going to do anything, just came for a closer look, and I'm not going to do anything to it. But you could still see it wasn't too sure, and that's that respect again, that's that boundary. Yeah, hello Teddy. You're getting very brave. Okay, I think we'll leave these little guys. It's definitely been great fun. I hope you've enjoyed seeing them. I'm hopefully seeing a different side to them. So unfortunately, hyenas do have a bit of a bad press, and actually it really is unfair. You still see it. See, I want to say he or she. Well, actually, I think it's probably a she. It's the way she acts. The females are dominant to males, although just the character, I'd say it's a he. Looking for trouble. But the saying, hyena society, it is females are dominant. I would say. Always great to see them, and certainly to see them so active as well. Are you pretending to be a hyena back there? Quite interesting actually, it's reacting to your hat.
Because the sunglasses are on.
Ah, it could well be, eh? Because as soon as you took the hat off, it became a lot bolder. Alrighty guys. Thank you so much for the entertainment. But as I say, I really hope you've enjoyed seeing a different side to them. Oops. Sorry kids.
That's what they call it, a bolt hole.
Yeah, definitely a bolt hole. I'm so sorry, little ones. It's just because it's been... Yeah, there we go, out it comes again. I'm just going to wait for them to get used to the engine. Shame they weren't expecting that at all. I'm so sorry everybody. See, there we go. They know what it is, but I think just with them... just in their own world, I think. That's the first time I've seen them react like that when the vehicle gets turned on. But that could be because they're all coming up to the vehicle and sniffing it, and so maybe just... There you go. You see, they're not even reacting now. But I think it's because it's been so quiet and we've spent a nice quality time with them. Are you following us? You want to come for a ride with us? I'm sure Sad's going to come back and see you. Just to show you. Look, there's Teddy. Just to show you, they do know what the vehicle's about. Bye. Okay, lights might be handy, hey? I wonder if we're going to have any luck with a honey badger this afternoon. Or even, oh, that would help. Even an aardvark. Okay, treehouse down, here we come. There was actually aardvark tracks around there not so long ago. Might be lucky. I'd love to show you an aardvark. Or a pangolin. For the spotlight. May even see a bush baby, or a chameleon, or a white-tailed mongoose. Porcupine, leopard, lion. Yeah, I can take a zebra question. Yeah. Yeah, maybe we should do that, hey, Ellen? Ellen suggested we bring a squeaky toy or something for Teddy to play with. Give the others a break. It was the crowned plover. Crowned plover is the one you need to tick off on the list. Crowned plover. Hi Jenny in Vancouver. Welcome on board. Do hyenas, no? Do animals get sleeping sickness when they get bitten by tsetse flies? And I'm sure some of them do. I'm sure they do get some form of disease. They do get sleeping sickness, don't they? Animals? Or is it just humans?
Well,
they get a form of it. Nagana. Yeah, which is further north. Because funnily enough, I think it was actually in Wilbur Smith's book. Okay, it was a bit of a fantasy. He was talking about a journey through Africa, and he knows Africa extremely well, and he was talking about wildebeest from biting flies, and he was talking about some of the people dying from a disease, and actually this makes me think, yes, Mark just saying that they get a form of it. I'm going to say it's gotten dark very quickly all of a sudden, but we've got a combination of factors. We're out like slightly later, and it's overcast, so it is of course going to get darker. There's me forgetting, oops, I've just broken the spotlight. That's not good. I thought it was caught on the seat. Oh dear. Gotta do this before we lose the light. Otherwise we're not going to be seeing anything.
What did the book?
And I pulled it.
Pulled out?
Yeah. I thought it was caught underneath the seat and I pulled it and it pulled out. Blonde moment. I can actually retake that. And I know some people do get a little bit frustrated when we do sit with animals sometimes, but that's the beauty of actually what we're doing here. Being able to sit and observe animals, and who knows how long we've got before those cubs start to get up and move on and leave the den, and we're going to miss these times when we've actually been able to sit with them and enjoy what they have to show us. And it's the same with the leopard. Sometimes we'll sit with a leopard that's sleeping just in case something happens. And the beauty of it is, you know, we can still drive around and have a look for things, but sometimes the magic is just sitting and watching and just enjoying what is going on. And other days we'll just keep on driving around and look for anything and everything that goes, and sometimes we won't spend as long with animals. Sometimes we'll move on fairly quickly. But certainly for me, and I think quite a number of people, actually watching the animal behaviour is just exciting as driving around and trying to tick off as many things as you can during one drive. It's a balance, as I say. Some days we won't spend as long with animals, sometimes we will. Especially if we think maybe there is something that's just about to happen. And with a day like today, you've seen, which we drove quite a lot this morning, many of the animals are in the thick of the bush. So on a day like today, you're not likely to see much. There's not really much that's been said on the radio. So they're battling to find things. So on a day like today, it's also worth maybe just spending that little bit extra time. Sorry boys. Just take the light off you there. Hi Sarah. Sarah again this afternoon. Great to have another question from you. I'm wanting to know about zebra and if they come down with similar diseases like the domesticated horse, like colic. And yes, they can. I was actually talking to some people the other day actually about the diseases and colic. There's a number of varieties of colic, and they are capable of getting colic. They're very closely related to domesticated horses. Same genus, which puts them extremely close. Equus division. nocturnal birds or small nocturnal. Vicky, is that Vicky? Vicky from Florida. Vicky from Florida. Are zebras territorial? And if so, how big is the territory? The zebra that we get here, the plain zebra, common zebra, virtual zebra, it's all the same animal. It has different names. They don't have a territory. They're nomadic. The male will walk around with the females. But other types of zebra, the Grevy's zebra in particular, are ones that will actually hold territory, and it'll be quite a small territory. They'll defend against males during the breeding season. And that will be quite small, and the females will then choose which mate they want to mate with. But they won't spend a great amount of time with that male. So actually, very different animals, even though they have stripes and they both look like zebras. If you took the stripes away and maybe coloured them differently, you'd have maybe two completely different animals. It's just the stripes really that they share. And even then, Grevy's very thin stripes. And they do look completely different to the zebra down in South Africa. Okay, they're still also looking in the east. We were going to make our way that side. Still looking in the east. Nothing so far. That it's an Egyptian goose by the looks of it. I think we shall have to get a little bit closer to see it. To see it from here. Might be, oh, we caught something. Oh, done, Spoonbill. We caught a frog. And actually, it has the belly just in the bill, so that once it clamps down on something, whatever it is, whether it be a fish or a frog or another aquatic species, it won't be able to slip away, so it can actually hold it quite steady in the bill. And sometimes they'll even use their feet just to stir up any animals just below the surface of the mud. Who was that last question from about the molting? Carol! Hi Carol in New York. Good afternoon, or good morning actually in New York, isn't it? But, Carol just wants to know about the molting in hyenas. And it's the same as what your cat will do if you've got a cat or a dog and they've got thicker fur in winter, and then as they get to summertime, the fur, that long fur molts. It's already dead, but it just molts away. It's the same principle as the hyena, because the actual fur can't change colour. So once it grows out black, for example, it can't change colour. It'll have to fall out, and then the lighter colour will come through, or the lighter hair will come through. Same as when a bird loses its feathers, when a bird molts. So a bird will lose a feather and then the new one will grow in its place. And actually when a bird molts, sometimes they become flightless, like the Egyptian geese. They'll go through a flightless molt, so they're not able to fly because of the amount of feathers that they lose at any one time. But sometimes you'll see a bird flying, and if you look closely, especially on the raptors, if you look closely, if they've got a feather missing on one wing, chances are they're missing the same feather on the opposite wing to keep them aerodynamic. So it is still possible for them to fly. Sorry Seb, I was trying to concentrate on 2 things at once then. Well, actually 4 things. Can you send it again? So, moving across to Joanne in Texas this time. Good evening to you, Joanne. Welcome on board this evening. Wanting to know, when hyenas go to hunt, do they stay close to the den or do they move to a different den site? The hyenas might not even use a den site, it's just when they're little, when they're young, they utilise the den site. And you may get a babysitter. I think Teddy's mum is busy babysitting at the moment. Sometimes you might not get a babysitter. When they do go out to hunt or forage for food, maybe we should just do twin dams. Yeah, let's do twin dams. We'll go via Elephant School, it's a little bit more sheltered. You might see something moving there. But yeah, as I say, they might not utilise a den site. Sometimes they'll just sleep out in the bush, especially when they're an adult without cubs. They might not bother going back to the communal den site. And they also have a number of den sites, so they may move cubs from one den site to another. You may get females waiting for a couple of months before the cubs get old enough to move them to the communal den site with the other cubs. You may find that they don't move them at all. We had a female, which I am fairly convinced was a low-ranking female, maybe first-time mother, who we actually were able to find her and her cubs on a number of occasions, and she moved at least four times that we know of. And it was only until the cubs were probably about 7 or 8 months old that she actually went and took them to the communal den site, that we actually saw them at the communal den site. And this is one thing, you know, it can be just so varied. It depends on the individuals, it depends on the area. There's a lot of factors that will maybe change behaviours to a certain degree in different areas. And there is so much that, you know, there's so many variants. I mean, one of the big things is the fact that the hyenas here actually take meat back to the den site on a fairly regular basis to a degree, but up in other areas, up in the north, you'll very rarely find hyenas taking food back to a den site, and that could have something to do with the amount of food that they can find. Maybe the hyenas here find a lot more food available, so if they do happen to lose their kill to another female who's higher ranking, or the food that they found, and it's not a big train smash, they've already had their fill, they don't need to worry about it being stolen. But it could also be, there's a set of eyes too far in there. I don't know, are you going to be able to get that, do you think? I don't even know if you'll be able to see it. Straight through there. I think it's moved already. Oh no, it's still there. On the branch right at the back there. Just want to see. To the left of that tree. I don't even know if I'm in the right spot for it. It's just on that, not this thick tree, it's the one to the left. Yeah, I think I'm in the wrong spot for you. It's just on that thin branch right at the back.
I really don't know what I'm looking for.
Oh, the little primate. As I say, I think I am just too far back. Are you still there? No, you're not there. Oh well, worth a try. No, I think you were just behind a tree. So it's quite difficult to judge. And this is what is so fascinating, and this sort of brings me back to sitting and watching animals, because, as I say, what's known and written down in books and studied for an animal in one area might not necessarily be the same for the same animal in another area, because of these different factors. The climate change, the amount of other predators available in that area, the amount of prey available in that area, the type of prey. You know, the amount of the same species in that area. I mean, all of these things may influence how a particular animal acts in a particular place. And what's very interesting is that with all the technology that we've got nowadays, a lot of these weird and wonderful habits and behaviours you may be able to see on a clip on YouTube, or you may hear about from somebody's trip abroad, and you'll have pictures to back it up, and you'll have videos to back it up as well. And because of this, we're actually learning so much more than what we knew in even a few years gone by, because of all this technology that's come about, and the fact that more people are going on holiday, and so there's more guides out in the bush, so they're seeing a lot more, and they're seeing these interactions. Hi Vivian, Illinois. Good evening to you. I'm wanting to know, is a hyena able to be trained? And I have seen a picture where a hyena's sort of been put on a lead and there's a muzzle on it, but on the same picture it said that it's not really advisable because they do get very boisterous and very, very difficult to handle. And remember, they do have one of the strongest biting powers of all the mammals, and one of the strongest in the animal kingdom. So you don't particularly want to get on the wrong side of that animal. But I think it probably is possible. They are extremely clever. As I say, they are able to work out problems. They're able to work together to form solutions. Interesting study was done on a few hyena. And in this study, to get food, one hyena had to push a plate and the other hyena had to pull a rope. It had to be done at the same time for them to get the food, but neither thing could be done together by one hyena, so they had to work together to get the food. And the people who were doing the study actually were amazed at how quickly the hyena learned what they had to do, and the fact that they were able to work together to get the food. But what was even more astounding is if they introduced a dominant hyena into the mix and took one of the other hyenas out, and she was more dominant, or that individual was more dominant than the other, the subordinate would be allowed to show the dominant animal how it's done. So the dominant animal would actually take a step back, and instead of trying to dominate it and really try and take control, they'd actually take a step back and see how it's done and learn from the subordinate. Now that is extremely intelligent, and that's what makes me think there is a lot more to hyenas than what we give them credit for. There's an unusual amount of vehicles on this road. Is that a coincidence, or is there something going on? How's it? Elephant pens. Going back home. Ooh. Got another animal photo ID. They stay put, stay there.
Baboon pan twin dam.
standing by.
Got anything there, Tyler?
Strawberries. What? Oh.
No, just a couple of small mammals.
Right. Lewis. Where did you come out?
Okay. And I wonder if it is two males. Looks like it. One chasing the other off.
What are they behind me?
It looks like it could be. We're going to have a bit of a fight between the two. So there you go. This one is to ID as well. Ryan, come in. Has there been any updates this afternoon?
Not too much this side. The Talalas, the 4 females on coral. We had one of my fuzzy Ingwes, a new young Madonna that's coming in. Impala. A couple of it dwarf, and that's about it. So.
Yeah, okay, copy, thanks. Which Mafazi Ingwe? Oh, okay. Copy that, thank you.
Anything on Karula and the Moppy Punch?
Lutu, I did have a look up on Buffalo's Hook cut line, but Lutu so far. She went over the cut line yesterday, possibly to a bumper over in Buffalo's Hook.
Right, those were tippers and all.
I've not heard much on the Ngala this afternoon, but possibly. Okay, so not too much happening. Seems we're down on the boundary there. And Tima apparently has been seen with an unknown male, young male, this afternoon, somewhere down the south by the sounds of it. But other than that, a couple of elephants somewhere. Salalas by Onkoro, 4 of the Salala females, the lions. Unfortunately, all where we can't go. Sadly to say. Let's take this road. Leatherwood Road. Leopard Road brings us, and we're going to be on Cheetah Cut line because you never know, we might see Siseka. How are we doing with the IDs there, Seb? I do wonder. Oops, no, not the Spoonbill. For the mammal. Yeah. Good to hear from you. Welcome on board this evening. Oh. I don't know if they're going to run away. I don't want to spend too long with them, but just to show you... Oh no, they are running away. There's a pair of Dakers. Probably the first time I've actually seen a pair together here on Jimmy Game Reserve. Little male, little female. With them being a diurnal animal, we don't really want to put or stay too long with the spotlight on them. But for something special like that, we'll bend the rules sometimes. It's always nice to see. see as well. I'm seeing lots of eyes. Way off in the distance. But who did get the spoonbill? Someone wants to ID the spoonbill. I've already got him on my list. Ooh! That was a bit lower than I thought. MJ! Well done, MJ. Getting the spoonbill right. So I do have it on my list, but you're welcome to tick it off. Always good to test yourself. See, that wide bill is very characteristic of the spoonbill. Nothing really that you can get it mixed up with. Hendry's already checked out, Buffalo's hooked down. Sure, it feels funny being out this late. It's definitely a nice change though. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, that's... I thought I missed that one. Purposely drove the other side of it. And I just ripped off the thing. Difficult to judge from height of the branches. Luckily it wasn't the antenna, it's just the rope that holds it. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Seb here in Final Control. Well, there was a bit of a lag, and I don't know why. When I cut away from them, it did cut the drive away. It usually doesn't. Usually, the drive keeps on going, and then when I cut away, it cuts away at that time, which is usually, if there is a lag, then it's 10 minutes after 7 or 15 minutes after 7. So I don't know why it did that, but so you obviously missed a little bit of the end of the drive. Sorry about this, but nothing much happened. Tara didn't find any leopard or lion. Don't worry, you didn't miss too much. I hope you'll join us again tomorrow morning. I'll be driving at 5:30 Central African time, and Tara will be on camera, and Mark will be sitting here in FC. So I hope you'll join us, and let's hope that the weather stays put, and let's hope that we get some kitties tomorrow. Let's see. But for now, for myself and everyone here at Juma, have a good night, take care, and we'll speak to you tomorrow. Bye.